Hello and welcome to Algebra 2. Today is Tuesday, October the 6th, and our topic for today is key features of graphs. So we're looking at the important points and the important intervals on these graphs. Okay. This is definitely the kind of topic where we learn best by doing, so we're going to dive right into our first example. Now, if I were you, I would pause here and make a pretty accurate sketch of our parabola here. So you'll know your sketch is accurate if these key points have the same values. So I think your notes will be a lot more meaningful with an accurate sketch. So pause here and take a sketch. Okay, we're back. We're going to start with end behavior. We remember end behavior is talking about what's happening on the very left and on the very right sides. So my first one I'm going to say, as x approaches infinity, right hand side, what's the curve doing? Going up. We say f of x approaches infinity. Left hand side, as x approaches negative infinity, what's it doing on the left? Also going up. So f of x still approaches positive infinity. Great. That's end behavior. Next up, it wants us to identify x intercepts. Remember, this is the x-axis, this is the y. Let's label those. My x intercepts, I can clearly see, are -1 and positive 3. So I'm just going to list them. -1, +3. Cool. Our y-intercept, I see right here, where we cross the y-axis, and that has a value of -3. So notice for x-intercepts, we're only listing x values. For y-intercepts, we're only listing y values. All right. Next up, we have max and min. For max and min, we are also only going to list y values. We're only interested in the output. Now, there actually is no maximum here because this curve will go up and on forever. So there's no hill, there's no hilltop like these, no maximum on this graph. So we put NA means not available or not applicable. However, I definitely see a minimum value right here. And we want to list the y value. The y value there is -3. Next, we're talking about domain. So let's define domain and range first. Domain is the set of x values on a curve, and range is the set of y values. Okay. We're also going to learn a new notation today that's called interval notation. So our domain here is all real numbers, right? No matter what x value I pick, it's going to have a matching y value. Even if I pick an x value all the way out here, eventually the curve will get there and it will have a y value. So our domain here is from -infinity to infinity. This here, in the yellow highlighter, is called inequality notation. We're going to learn a new notation called interval notation. So let's write that down. Interval notation. And the way we write interval notation is like this. We're going to go from lowest value, comma, highest value. So for example, if I had x was from 3 to 4, number. If we have brackets, that means do include that number. So, for example, if I had x was negative 3 less than or equal to positive 12, I would write this with brackets. We can also do both. If I had, for example, negative 5 to positive 1, it'd be parentheses negative 5 up to 1 bracket. So this is the new junior level, 11th grade level notation we're going to be using called interval notation. So if I go back here, I can rewrite the domain as negative infinity, comma. Okay, range is our list of y values. Let's see, there's no y value below this negative 4. That's the lowest possible y value, so let's put that. Bracket, because we include it. Our lowest possible y value is negative 4. And how high does it go? Well, these go on forever, so our highest y value is infinity. Okay. Lastly, we have interval of increase and decrease. So let's see. This graph appears to be increasing on the right-hand side. Now, when we list interval of increase and decrease, we're going to use x values to describe these. So the first x value where it's increasing is positive 1. So it starts increasing at 1, and then it keeps increasing forever. For decrease, I'm going down on this side. So it starts decreasing at negative infinity, and then the last time it is increasing is at this positive. Wonderful. Let's do one more example. So this is our second and final example. You should pause here and do a sketch of the graph. Notice we're going to estimate when necessary. So we can call, for example, we can call these just negative 2 and 2. So pause here, sketch your graph. Okay, we're back. Let's do end behavior. For end behavior, I'm interested about the very right-hand side and the very left-hand side. So I've got as x approaches infinity, what's happening on the right-hand side? It's going up. F of x approaches infinity. Left-hand side, as x approaches negative infinity, what's it doing? Going down. F of x approaches negative infinity. All right. Next, I have x intercepts. I see these right here. Remember, we've got x-axis, y-axis. So I've got negative 2, 0, and positive 2. So we can write them just like that. For y-intercept, we're just going to leave it at 0. That's the only place it contacts the y-axis. Maximum. Remember, we're going to give y values here. Where's the y val? I have a little peak right here. Its y value is 2. Fix that 2. Okay. Then I've got a little valley, a little minimum right there that has a y value of negative 2. Okay. Domain and range. Domain is talking about x values. I look at this curve, no matter what x value I choose, it's going to have a y value. So even if I pick this as my x value, eventually it's going to match up with the curve. So your domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. Range is y values. I look at my y values here, it goes all the way down and it goes all the way up. So my range is also negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay. Interval of increase. Let's see. It's going up here. It goes down here. And then it turns back around and goes up. So it's going up from negative infinity, and then at x value of 1 is when it turns around. When we're writing more than one interval, we're going to put a capital U for union. And then let's see, sorry, that was negative 1. And then at positive 1, it picks up again from 1 to infinity. And then let me erase some of this to make it a little clearer. And then for our interval of decrease, it's right here. It's where it's going down from -1 to 1. And that is it. All right, guys, that's everything for today. Thanks.